Welcome everyone. In this video, we're going to play some more games with the Green Aggro Deck. Recently, I've been playing a ton of BizBunks and Bash Globe decks, and I think those are really the two main dominant decks in the format right now. So we've adjusted the list to kind of take that into account. So in order to do well against BizBunk, we've been playing 4 copies of Misplace. So the entire 6 drop is Misplace. I find that for Green Aggro, this is actually the best card for it. Like putting a Snow Globe package in at the top end doesn't really work because that kind of counteracts the way that this deck works. Then we're also running 4 copies of GotEm. So the idea is that we remove the Ascending Penguin early with GotEm or with Walk the Runway, which is already a 4 of, but that's standard across the board. And then we play Misplace right after that to lock them out of playing a second Ascending. Or if we kind of weren't fast enough to stop Ascending, we can still use Misplace on Bunkus and then be able to kind of win the game from there. So Popcorn Penguin can also help against the Ascending, but right, a lot of people are playing Inquisitive these days, so it can be a little less effective. So all right, so that's kind of the kind of Bunkus Bizbunk package. And then for Bash Globe, what we're doing is we're playing the 4 copies of CleanUpGood because that is one of the cards that really helps. And we are still playing the Clam combo. So we're playing 2 copies of EverybodyStayClam and 3 WhataTwists. So for Bash Globe, generally what you need to do is just have enough of a board so that you can play the clean up good at the end. And you need to also be aware that they might have um, the the spring a leak, the counter spell. So you often will even have enough on the board to kind of have two win condition cards. And so then sometimes maybe with Walk the Runway, you can get them off of 13 or something. But right, if they have a really fast start, it can be difficult. But if they don't have Spring a Leak, so if you can get the Spring a Leak with Misplaced, for example, then you're in a really good position. But anyway, so what we've taken out of the deck to make space here is the first thing we took out is Hungry Penguin. So the reason we took out Hungry Penguin is we just wanted more space for Misplace. Plus, Hungry Penguin doesn't work when Snow Globe is on the board. And on top of that, Hungry Penguin, while it can help against the Bizbunk matchups, it's not like critical in that matchup. Like you're better off just preventing them from getting the big stuff out in the first place. The other cut we've made is the other 3 drop, which is the what's it called? The penguin who's the success penguin that basically says like flop this penguin. You flop the penguin, you sacrifice it, and you give a penguin +6 vibe. Again, that penguin is useless against Bizbunk, and Snow Globe also deactivates it. And we've also gotten rid of the Bunkus, which means that our matchup against Blue Mill is not as strong. That being said, the Blue Mill matchup is still decent with this deck because you just kind of win all the vibe checks, get a lot of rods. If they do symmetric card draw, you can just play stuff just as fast as they can. So overall, I think that there's not a lot of Blue Mill on the ladder. So anyway, let's jump into some games and see how we perform. Hopefully, we'll run into the Bash Globe and Bizbunk matchups because if we do, we can kind of see how we do against those. Although I will say that I don't know if we're even favored in either of those matchups. I think overall Green Aggro sits pretty solidly. Like I think it doesn't have any terrible matchups. But I don't think it has any super favored matchups either. And the one matchup that is very difficult is yellow, just yellow in general. Because when you're playing against yellow, the only thing you can do is basically when they play buddy up, you play everybody stay clam. So against yellow, everybody stay clam is super critical. So keep that in mind. And popcorn, of course, right? You can also, if you get a double popcorn, you can usually take care of pretty much most yellow builds. Another play I really like doing against yellow is you basically do everybody stay clam on their first buddy up, and then you play misplace in order to block buddy up from it happening again. And then if they play put your flippers in the air, you have walk the runway to lock them out like that. Just make sure not to commit too much on the board because you don't really have a good answer to Yum Yum. Okay, let's jump in. All right. So looking at our hand, so we have 3 2 drops. So walk the runway. It's always good to keep one walk the runway, I find. And so then okay, so we'll keep one walk the runway. I don't think we want to keep more than one 2 drop. So which 2 drop do we want? Do we want the Blossom Penguin or the Penguin whose garden grows? This is always a tricky decision. I think we'll take the blossoming penguin just because it's a little more like the penguin whose garden grows. I like it when I have the 3 drop already, but we're also only playing we drew it. Okay. So um all right, so let's look at our hand here. I'm going to play the misplace as the rod just because I have more of them in the deck than I have everyone stay clam. And so I'd rather hold on to that. And there's more matchups where everyone stay clam is useful than misplace. And in the case where this is a biz bunk, we still have 3 bounce house rods to get the misplace back. So, okay, it's a bash globe. Okay, so against a bash globe, I would have preferred to keep the penguin whose garden grows. So, yeah, I guess I should have thought it through it like that. Yeah, so going back, well, the, given the fact that we've drawn the curious penguin, of course, we want the penguin whose garden grows. But now that I see it's a bash globe, now hopefully they don't have the sneaky penguin here. Because then that means we could have won this vibe check, but it's okay. It's still not a problem to tie it. So I think I still want to keep the everyone stay clam because it can be useful. I do think okay, so we will want to get to probably 5. If we can get to 5 green pudge, then we can basically do walk the runway and everyone stay clam on the same turn. So okay, so because, well, if we win the vibe check, we just need everyone to stay clam. We don't need the WhataTwist either. So, okay, so we do have the Popcorn Penguin, and Popcorn Penguin can be very good against Bash Globe because they do have a lot of 2 and 4 vibe penguins. Like sometimes they end up with a board, especially because the Popcorn Penguin we can scale up. Like we could actually play the Popcorn Penguin before we play the Sliding Penguin. So we play the Popcorn Penguin this turn, get the Contemplative Penguin, but then if they play an Inspiring Story, then the Popcorn Penguin will get iced. So, okay, we definitely don't need Misplace. Okay, so this is nice. So we get the Curious Penguin. So we'll win a vibe check. Um, this is kind of one of those matchups where the vibe check goes back and forth because right the Bash Globe has the Serene Penguin, which is something that will be bigger than our penguins for a bit. So okay, so CleanUpGood, that's also interesting. That could be useful too. Okay, WhataTwist, always good as well. So the reason we're not playing well, I guess Inspiring, we could have played the Popcorn first. I mean, then I guess GotEm could have removed it, but I think Bash Globe generally doesn't run GotEm. So anyway, yeah, so if they play Serene Penguin now, it could be a problem for us. But if they play Inspiring Story, we still win the vibe check. And then okay, so anyway, I think maybe I should have played the popcorn. So if I played the popcorn, um, what would that do for us? Well, now that they play the so do we want to win the vibe check or do we want to tie the vibe check? Because I could tie the vibe check. So if we tie the vibe check, okay, because winning the vibe check will bring the game faster to an end. But I have the popcorn penguin, so I think we actually want to tie the vibe check. I don't see any reason why I should win the vibe check because I'm in a situation where the slower the game goes, theoretically, my popcorn penguin can just remove everything that they have. So I could play popcorn, but I could right if I play popcorn penguin here and they win the vibe check, then right. So if I play popcorn penguin, they win the vibe check, then the popcorn will ice itself the following turn. So that means that maybe then I will play actually I'll play everybody stay clam to get another trigger off with the popcorn. Plus the stay clam is I mean, now they got the WhataTwist, that might be possible to win the game with. So we'll see. But they might also just play their own popcorn here. And if they play their own popcorn, at that point, it's yeah. So the question is, um can I remove their popcorn? Like, can I take this out and then if I win the vibe check? No. So basically we're just gonna trade popcorns. But okay, so I still think that not winning the vibe check is good because well, at this point, okay, so do I want to cycle the stay clam? I don't think so because, um, yeah, there's no reason to cycle the stay clam because it is one card that we can potentially win with. So we do want to get to if we can get to 5 green pudge, I could play both at the same time. So the question is, do I want to lock out popcorn? So if they play a popcorn this turn, is that going to cause problems for me? Or if they had a second popcorn, if they had a second popcorn, they play it. Yeah, this will cause problems for me. So let's just take popcorn out of the equation. Um, if we draw our own popcorn, it's not ideal, but I guess at that point we'll just play it as a rod. And Yeah, so if they have their own popcorn, well, okay, so now do we wanna keep tying the vibe check? I kind of wanna lose the vibe check, I think, because I want more cards. So I think I'll purposely lose the vibe check here. Maybe that's wrong, but again, right, one of the main reasons to have initiative is because of Popcorn Penguin. Um, because yeah, so I could have tied this vibe check, and maybe that was the right play because but I don't think this game is gonna end on well, yeah, on that final turn. I guess on the final turn, if I have control, it would be good. Yeah, so if on the final turn I have control, if I play Everyone Stay Clam, I don't need to have the WhataTwist to win on a tie. But with the WhataTwist, right, then you can still win because it's 14. So really the question is, okay, well, I would have lost the vibe check anyway. So I guess it's good. And okay, so the bounce house rod is okay because I really want to get yeah, so okay, so if I get to 5 or if I get to 6, yeah, but I think okay, so I'll just play the GotEm this turn. But okay, so I think I'm kind of in trouble now. Um, just because yeah, the reason I'm feeling a little worried here is because I don't think I'm gonna actually have so I really need like a Romulus. But right, if they do the Bash Globe combo next turn, well, if they do the Bash Globe combo, I can still I can still play Clean Up Good one turn and then everyone stay clam. So I have two finishers. But the question is, right, if they set it up that they have spring that they're already that they just win the game, then that's not gonna help. And right, sliding penguin. Okay, so now that I have a second sliding penguin, I can start can I tie the vibe check again now? 10, 10, yeah. So I could tie the vibe check, but right, if they go bash globe here, yeah, so if they do the full bash globe combo at 15, I basically just have to clean up good this upcoming turn and then do the clam combo the following turn. And then that means I lose the spring a leak. So if their hand is well, but if their hand is snow globe, bash globe, snow globe, rod, and a bashful swordsman, then they won't have the spring a leak. So I think there's no I mean there's definitely combinations of cards I lose to. Um if I like but yeah, so for example, if they just play snow globe here, they just play snow globe. But if they just play snow globe and then I draw Romulus, then I'm in a good position. And I should be able to okay, so we're gonna get one more turn. So okay, so the nice thing is okay, so we did get two penguins. So we'll play the two penguins for sure. And then I think we want to definitely play the bounce house. So we'll play the bounce house and we'll get the cleanup good. Um, because that means that actually next turn, assuming we get one more green penguin. Yeah, so assuming we get a green penguin next turn. And do we just want to draw as many cards as possible? Do we want to win the vibe check? Can we win the vibe check? Okay, so if we go 10, 10, no, we could tie the vibe check. So do I want to restrict their cards? I don't think I actually want to restrict their cards though, because I just want another penguin. I need another green penguin so I can do cleanup good and then everyone stay clam. And wait, so if I do cleanup good against Sam, I'll get two cards. I'll play one rod. So yeah, so I think everything will be fine. So the question is, do I want to do walk the runway this turn? I don't really think. I don't think I want. Okay, so maybe this is okay. So This is a very interesting turn where I think I'm best off to lose the vibe check so that I can maximize my chance of getting one more green penguin because I really think I need one more green penguin in order to get past the next turn. Because then I can do cleanup good, and then if they have a counter spell for cleanup good, then I can do everyone stay clam with twist. Okay, so we didn't get a green penguin there. So that's one of the problems with this build is we're running just the Gotems are not good. So I guess if we would have won the vibe check, this would have become a rod. So that wouldn't have been a problem. Um, but okay, so with the Well, I guess okay, so I guess one issue I wasn't thinking about is I actually don't have enough in order to, like, what I'm saying is, I can't clean up good enough in order to actually win the vibe check because, well, now if they had played Snow Globe, if they had played Snow Globe, my Curious Penguin would have just been a 6, and I could have just gotten it to 12, which wouldn't have been big enough. Okay, so there's no way. So with okay, so I can't really win this. Um, right. So I'm assuming they're gonna have the counter spell. So this is gonna get very okay. So what penguin will this be? So 20. So theirs is 20. So I can't beat their swordsman anyway. Hmm. Yeah. So if they have the counter spell and then I play stay clam, that is gonna be a problem. There's no way. So I guess we'll use the curious penguin, but because a curious penguin with cleanup good. So maybe there's a world where I play 2 cleanup goods on the curious penguin. But okay, so if I play 2 cleanup goods on the curious penguin, I lose to spring a leak. And I still don't win the game. If I play everyone stay clam, I also lose to spring a leak. So I think I'm gonna lose to spring a leak, right? I lose to spring a leak no matter what. But if I play cleanup good, there's a chance that they spring a leak it. No, I don't think there's any way out of this because I can also if I walk the runway and get rid of like the contemplative penguin, there's still one higher. So yeah, I don't think there's any way out of this if they have spring a leak. Okay, so if they have spring a leak, there's no way out of this. So if they don't have spring a leak, then do I want to play the stay clam first? Or do I want to play the cleanup good first? And I think we want to do the cleanup good play first. We'll use both cleanup goods this turn. It's gonna be very painful. But basically, yeah, so because we can use one cleanup good, it unflops, and then we use another cleanup good. But yeah, so if they like either way, we're gonna lose. Okay, well, we're gonna lose to bridge to layer 0 as well. Well, will we lose to this? Let's think. So, right, we can yeah, there's no way out of this now. Right. So, yep. Okay, so there's no way out of this. All right. So, anyway, that'll be the end of this. So, we ended up drawing so if we had drawn one more green pudge, it wouldn't have helped. So, okay, so what really was the problem? The problem is we didn't have Romulus. If we had Romulus, I think this would have been maybe better. But either way, okay, so all right, let me think about so what about at the beginning when we didn't take the penguin whose garden grows? But we didn't get overrun in terms of like having a slow early game because that's one of the things that the whole point of like playing the blossoming instead of the penguin whose garden grows. Blossoming is better at winning the very early vibe checks, but penguin whose garden grows is better in the mid game, assuming you get the curious penguin. So in that situation, we didn't end up getting overrun. Although, yeah, I think just hmm. Yeah, so okay, so I'm not sure exactly what we could have done differently, if anything. I think if we had played the stay clam, well, the stay clam, right? Then maybe this was spring leak. Okay, so I wasn't really thinking about bridge to layer 0. So if bridge to layer 0, if I knew that was coming, yeah, then I guess because the other thing with the stay clam is you draw another card. So I guess I should have just gone for the stay clam because the I mean, maybe this was spring a leak, but I'm not 100% sure it was spring a leak. So okay, so in hindsight, I guess that's kind of the rule of thumb as well as you should play stay clam first because you draw a card off of it, which will help you in your next turn. So then we could have had the double cleanup good the following turn. So I guess so then we would have but I guess we would have had to use our WhataTwist and then we would have lost their WhataTwist, but maybe that's just the way it is. Okay, so yeah, I think in hindsight I definitely should have played stay clam, but again, maybe that's if I would have done that, this would have been spring a leak. But either way, we lost with the double cleanup good play. So yeah, okay. Anyway, let's go to the next game. All right, taking a look at our hand. So we've got Blossoming and Curious, which is definitely a keep, and Walk the Runway. I always keep one Walk the Runway, but I don't think we need the Bounce House or the Cleanup Good. We're really looking for that mid game. So right, because we have the early game locked up. Some and GotEm is a great draw too, and Inspiring Story is that mid game. So I think this is about as good of a hand as we could have. I mean, obviously we want popcorn, and I think Romulus. Romulus is also really, really important. And so we do play because that's basically the only thing we really have for the late game. Because we really don't have any of those like because right in our 6 vibe slot, we're just running Misplace. So we don't kind of have that like hungry penguin that goes there. You know, some people play penguin in color or koi penguin. We don't do that either. So okay, so because we drew the bounce house rod, I'm comfortable putting the cleanup good down as a rod. Because we do play 4 copies of it, and it's not every game you actually need this card. So with a bounce house rod, we'll be able to get it back if we need it. And Walk the Runway is definitely more of a card that's useful in the early game. Okay, so we're playing the mirror. So in the mirror, so what's really useful in the mirror? So cleanup good is better than the well, if we can manage to get Romulus. So Romulus is very, very important in the mirror. So we definitely need to get Romulus. But we don't really have control over that. Like we have the bounce house, so we'll be able to pull it up if we get it as a rod. But yeah, in the mirror, okay, so we'll definitely play the curious. So the question is, right? So if they play curious, we lose a vibe check. So we could be on the back foot. So I'm gonna play this as a rod. So it is nice in the mirror to have like again, like to have a bunch of green pudge out because right then we could do like a cleanup good and a walk the runway on the final turn. So I do like the idea of playing more penguins, but if they play the curious penguin here, I lose a vibe check and then I can't play the inspiring next turn. And so okay, so like I said, they did play the curious. So and being behind the vibe check, so where is this a problem? Well, this is gonna make popcorn an issue, right? Because like in the mirror, winning the vibe checks is very important because of how popcorn works. And so right now we like if they have a popcorn, there's nothing we can really do about it. So the good news is, well, it's not even good news because we can't even win because right now we lost initiative. Okay, with sliding penguin. So we'll be able to play inspire. We'll be able to get initiative back in 2 turns, but if they play like if they have a buff card and then a popcorn, we're definitely going to be in trouble. So, so there's their buff card. Okay, so we'll play our own inspiring story this turn for sure. Um, yeah, we don't need the other curious, so we'll play inspiring story. So then, right, if they have the what's it called? The if they have the popcorn and then also the sliding penguin, we're not going to be able to deal with this. So the only thing we can do, I guess, is if they play popcorn, we could play sliding penguin. Then we have 3 penguins, and then we can walk the runway the popcorn, and then we just take the hit that we basically get 2 for 1 by the popcorn, and we lose our walk the runway, which is not good. So, well, the okay, so the alternative. Okay, so at least now we could play the penguin whose garden grows, so that the popcorn at least we keep the sliding on the board, but it's still not good. So okay, so but they don't have the popcorn. Okay, so hungry penguin. So the nice thing about hungry penguin is we can remove that with walk the runway. We have a second walk the runway, which is perfect. So, okay, so we'll definitely play the sliding penguin. Um, but then the question is, I think we're going to need, like, I think we'll start. So if we clean up good, well, can we be 10? So we can be 10. So we can actually be the biggest. So I think we'll use the cleanup. We'll get the. I think we need to play the bounce house this turn, and we'll play a walk the runway this turn as well to get rid of the hungry penguin. So what do we want? I think we want the cleanup good as the ending card. I think that's better than everyone stay clam in this matchup. So the nice thing is that even though we yeah, so I guess we can tie the vibe check. Um but we will be getting rid of the hungry penguin since we have so many walk the runways because now if we use a walk the runway here, they can use a walk the runway here and it ends up being a 1 for 1 or a 2 for 2 really because we both lose a walk the runway and we both lose. So because we're the highest vibe, we're able to do this. And okay, so do we want to I think we want to keep tying the vibe check. Or do we want to win or lose? I guess tying the vibe check is good. I think let's just slowly go out this game because they're going to try to protect that. If they do a walk the runway here, we can just do the same play next turn. Oh no, we won't be able to do the same play next turn because we will have nothing bigger. But then we'll lose a vibe check, so we'll draw 2 cards. So maybe we'll get something bigger. I actually think this was wrong. I should be losing the vibe check. I don't need like well, maybe I'll get run over. So maybe tying it is fine because then I can get the Penguin whose garden grows out. So they have yet to show that they have a popcorn. I think if they had a popcorn, they would have played it by now. So yeah, maybe losing the vibe check would have been better, but a popcorn doesn't help me, right? Because a popcorn would never be big enough to take on their side of the board. So the only reason I need a popcorn for is defense against their popcorn. So this game is just one of those games where I never have initiative and I'm just always playing from a little behind. Now, I don't know if it's gonna be a problem. Like if I draw Romulus, I could flip that. So I'm not like it's not one of those disastrous games where you just get completely snowballed out. But if they had a popcorn, then it would be one of those games. So yeah, so we'll see how that goes. Okay, so success penguin. All right, so that's also because I think on the final turn, if I have clean up good and walk the runway and 5 pudge, I think I should be in a good position. Um, I don't think I need 2 cleanup goods. That seems excessive. So I think we will go like this. And then, okay, so we're at 11 now. They're at 12. So they can get to 15. So, yeah, so the question is like on the final turn, will I be able to, yeah, so will I be able to keep them away? So do I want to get 2 card draws? Because I really want, yeah, because I like my 2 cards. So I'd rather lose this vibe check. So I will boost, um, hmm. Yeah, but if they've walked the runway, but okay, I guess if they've walked the runway, I can use the cleanup good to counter the walk the runway. Although then I might lose my thing for the last turn, but I really want to have the 5th pudge because then I can do walk the runway and clean up good. Well, I guess I can technically do them both together because I do the clean up good first, but then I'll be fully flopped. So I like the idea of seeing my next 2 cards. Um and yeah, so this is again, so the success penguin, right? We cut that from our deck because we're not really focusing on the green mirror matchup. So right, they had hungry penguin and success penguin, which are both cards that I think are very good in the green deck when you're expecting a lot of greens. Like those are really good in the mirror match. But in the Bash Globe and Bizbunk matchup, they're not very good. I mean, Hungry Penguin is a little bit useful in the Bizbunk matchup um, if you're having a fast start, but I still much prefer Misplace. Okay, so Inspiring Story is not bad, but I really would prefer like something else. I really need a green pudge. So the Inspiring Story might have to be the Rod. Oh, Romulus. Okay, so that's really not good. So that means we're gonna have to go first. So if we go, okay, so we definitely need the sliding penguin, and there's really no point to play the inspiring story as a rod, right? Because it doesn't, yeah, it doesn't actually help us as a rod because we're not going to win the game this turn either. So basically, we're going to do cleanup good on the curious penguin, and then if they do cleanup good as well, then I can use the walk the runway to keep them off of 15. Um, all right, so we want so 14. So I think we want as big of a, well, do we want a second? Because we're gonna do, there's no way, right, if they do well, yeah, but with cleanup good, I just don't want my, if they have a walk the runway, yeah, if they have a walk the runway, I'd rather them get rid of my blossoming penguin. So I'm gonna use that as my cleanup good target. So yeah, the nice thing is if we win the vibe check, we'll actually with the inspiring story, we will have initiative, I think. All right, so we'll play clean up good on the Blossoming Penguin. So I didn't even count this out, which was definitely a mistake on my part. So right, because okay, so if we do clean up good here, what that will mean is we'll be at 20. And so if they use a success penguin, they'll also be at 20, which just means that we would okay, so using that other cleanup good as a rod was not ideal. So yeah, so if they play a cleanup good now, we can use walk the runway to counteract it. Um, so the only issue then is if they use like cleanup good on Romulus. Okay, but they don't have cleanup good, so that means okay, what could their card be? It's probably Everybody Stay Clam or with walk the runway they would have played it there. Okay, so another cleanup good, not really what we need. Okay, so I guess we just play. We play out. So then if we tie the vibe check, we're still good. So yeah, okay. So now we're gonna so playing that cleanup good as a rod earlier, like I really wish I had that in my hand now. Because right, we only have the walk the runway. So that means if they do a stay clam, hmm. Yeah, I think this is an end state where we will not come out on top. Unless they just have nothing in their hand. Like, right, if they just have duds, then we're fine. But if they have something like if they have like the stay clam with if they have stay clam with WhataTwist, then we're in trouble. All right, so let's see. Okay, so we can get so we can tie there, and then this can actually so this can become 14. So we can become 14, right? So we tie with them. But so now if they use the so we're tied here. And I specifically made this one 14 because I'd rather lose this than the Curious Penguin. Okay, so let's see what their card is. The problem is they have two actions, a success and whatever this action is here. So, but if this is a walk the runway, then I'm probably still okay. Yeah, so if this is a walk the runway, I think there might be some paths where I can get out of this. If this is a so if this is the success penguin here, so now what I have to do is I have to use walk the runway. And the question is, do I want to remove the success penguin or do I want to remove the Romulus? And I think I want to remove the Romulus because if they have cleanup good, no, but if they have walk the runway, I'm not sure actually which one to remove. I'm trying to think of we'll see what they play because theoretically, if they have the walk the runway, what they would do is they would do walk the runway from Romulus to the Curious Penguin. And then if they do that, my penguin whose garden grows, then I would if I were to do it on the success penguin, okay, on this penguin, if they do walk the runway here, I lose this. These both go, and I think this would just fizzle actually. Yeah, so then the success penguin fizzles, I think. Um well, they have cleanup good. Okay. So there was no way we were getting around this, right? Okay. So all right, so what did we do wrong? So we played the cleanup good. We played the cleanup good as a rod. And maybe we shouldn't have done that. Right? Playing the cleanup good as the rod. So yeah, but by playing the cleanup good as a rod, right? If we had the cleanup good on that final turn, that could have helped us maybe. Um Yeah, and there were no popcorns in the game on either side. And so again, so here we can see the success penguin was extremely useful because if they didn't have the success penguin, what would have happened is they would have had to play the cleanup good, and then in response, I would have just played the walk the runway. So the success penguin is really, really good in the mirror matchup. And again, right, we built our deck not to be good in the mirror matchup. So It's a little unfortunate that we faced a mirror matchup, but, right, anyway, that's you can see why that card is good. Alright, let's get ready for the next game. Alright, looking at the next game. So, alright, so we'll definitely keep Walk the Runway. So the only question is, do we keep the Stay Clam, which I think the answer is no. So we go 2, 4, Walk the Runway, Inspiring Story. So we have a good curve to start. Oh, we've got Romulus as well. So, all right. So I think we'll have to use an Inspiring Story as a rod, which is definitely sad because if you go double Inspiring Story, that can definitely help a lot. But, right, the rest of our hand is just speaking out to us what we need to do. So the only thing is, if this is yellow, then we're gonna really regret getting rid of that Stay Clam. But I guess I didn't play anything on turn 2. Okay, there's a second Stay Clam. Now, I'm gonna also play this as a rod, but at least that means we now have 3 more Stay Clams in our deck, aka Bounce House Rods. So, so one Stay Clam is at the bottom of our deck, and okay, but it's not. So it's good we did that. So now in the green matchup, the most important thing is the Romulus, and then some Walk the Runway is very good as well. And popcorn definitely for the mid game. So now the problem is, because we didn't win that vibe check, we don't have a play for next turn. But I guess, yeah, I guess Misplace is good because that's a rod. So okay, so the Inspiring Story is what we'd want if we drew a Bounce House Rod. Well, maybe the Clam. So right, we do also ideally we'd get to five penguins, but I'm not sure if that's going to be possible. All right, they didn't have the Curious Penguin either. So, okay, so that means we'll probably be good from here to roll up. But again, without Popcorn Penguin, it's a little bit, yeah. Well, it's gonna be very hard to tie the upcoming vibe check just because of how Penguin with Garden Grow works. Okay, so we'll play the Blossoming as the rod and play the sliding. So we'll have, okay, so with the sliding, we'll probably win this vibe check. Although, do I want to lose the vibe check? I think I don't, because if I lose the vibe check, Popcorn will wreck me. And so if I can keep winning the vibe check, it's going to be a bit before Popcorn can cause me problems. So yeah, so in this, okay, so they didn't have anything there either. Now it is kind of funny that I built this deck specifically not thinking that green was not so popular. I mean, I've seen green around, but you know, yeah. So anyway, we have specifically teched our deck in a way that's bad for this matchup, because what we're doing is we don't have the Hungry Penguin, which is amazing in this matchup, and we don't have the, what's it called? The penguin who the Success Penguin. Okay, so with the Bounce House, this is kind of seems like a good turn to play the Bounce House. And just because, well, or can I just wait till next turn? If I win the vibe check, no, because I want to play the Romulus next turn. So I need to play the Bounce. So what would I want? I think, while Inspiring Story is nice, I think I already have a lot of buff cards. So I think I'm going to just take the Cleanup Good, because I think the Cleanup Good is what's very useful, because if you can basically you can win the game if you have 5 pudge, and I think it's gonna be easier to get to 5 pudge. So there was a question if I should play the Bounce House Rod that turn, because I could have just not played it that turn. But if I didn't play it that turn, next turn I wouldn't be able to play it either. And so then it'd be 2 turns from now that I'd be able to play it. And that's kind of a long time from now. But maybe that would have enabled me to see more cards. Like right, if I draw a Cleanup Good now, I'll feel like I did an incorrect play. But if I would have waited one more turn, so I would have had to wait 2 more turns, and I just don't think I had space in my hand then. Um, hmm, maybe. But anyway, right, the idea is I have 5 rods here, so I can play Romulus next turn, because I'll get a rod from the vibe check, and whatever I draw, I'll play as a rod. And I couldn't have played the Bounce House Rod because it enters flopped. So that was my thinking. But this also just means whatever comes here, I basically have to play as a rod. Well, it's a GotEm. So if I didn't play the Bounce House Rod last turn, what would have my hand been? My hand would have then been Bounce House, GotEm, and Walk the Runway. So then, yeah, so this turn was way better, because otherwise, well, obviously if I was going to draw the GotEm, it was going to be pretty good. But yeah, otherwise I'd have to basically play the BounceHouseRod. No, I just would have played the GotEm, and then my hand now would still be the Bounce House. Okay, and then I could have next turn got the CleanUpGood. Okay, well, looks like okay. Is this some sort of caffeine deck? Well, if it's some sort of caffeine deck, we need WhataTwist ASAP. Um, or is this a green deck that just has green Mega Penguin? I personally don't like green Mega Penguin in green, but that's just okay. So do I really want a? Because I kind of feel like I should just win this next turn. Because I think unless I have like double. Okay, well I can't. So again, this is why the got like if this was a success penguin, imagine that. Imagine if this was a success penguin. This or even a hungry penguin, but definitely a success penguin. Then I could have ended this game one turn earlier. Maybe. I still would have lost to double caffeine. But again, even if they have double caffeine, what I need is I need to get more on board. So okay, okay. So this is some sort of snow globe deck. So do we just get rid of the points rich? I think we have to just get rid of it. Okay, so yeah, I think there's no option but to get rid of the well, I'm gonna lose this vibe check, but I will be able to I'll be able to get rid of the points rich, and I'll still be bigger than the green mega penguin. So yeah, so I think I should get rid of the points rich. Um, well, or I could just flop it. Yeah, so I could just flop it. Okay, do I just want to win the? Yeah, maybe the points rich doesn't really hurt me. Well, do I want to lose the vibe check or do I want to win the vibe check? I think I want to lose the vibe check because I guess popcorn penguin. So popcorn. Okay, so if I win the lose the vibe check here, I'm at 12. They play popcorn. I think we just wait. I think we win the vibe check, and then next turn, ugh. Well, losing the vibe. Well, the thing about winning the vibe check is I can just play. I can just basically play nothing. I mean, okay, play another sliding penguin. Okay, that's good. And now even, yeah, snow globe would be fine. Um, another caffeine, is that an issue? No. Well, is it? Now I wonder if it's gonna be an issue. Okay, so I need to have yeah, so I need to have 3 things that are bigger than the green mega penguin will be. And I have the Romulus, the sliding penguin, and the penguin whose garden grows. So theoretically this will work. Okay, this is yeah, so this is definitely not green. So this is some sort of bash globe type deck. I'll flop that either way. Oh wait, they got 11 because of inspiring story. Okay. So then so the question is, do we play Walk the Runway? And I think we do, just because it's like just because it buys us a turn, maybe. And well, either way, we need to just draw a green penguin. Okay, so second caffeine was definitely a problem for us, right? Because otherwise we would have stacked our sliding penguins all onto a penguin whose garden grows. So, but if we get one more green penguin here, then we can play cleanup good probably, and there's nothing they can do about that. So, I think just yeah, because there was no way we were gonna play both of those next turn, and by knocking him off one, that maybe cuts out some outs that they have. I can't really think of anything. Okay, so well, or what a twist. What a twist also would help. So we need WhataTwist, a green penguin. Okay, that's a green penguin, and it's a big green penguin. Um, so I think there's nothing if they just don't play another caffeine. That's the main challenge. Okay, so we'll play the him, and then we'll play. I guess we'll just play Misplace as a rod. Maybe that was incorrect, right? Because maybe there's some card like not a rod anymore, but he's gonna have to spend so many not a rod anymores here. So can I even get there without just by boosting the penguin whose garden grows? Um, wait, the penguin whose garden grows. I can make it 14, right? Yeah, so I think the penguin whose garden grows actually can just. I don't even need the cleanup good. Wait, that would be crazy. I mean, right? Yeah, so we don't even need the cleanup good because, well, yeah. So the Romulus. So what I really needed was I needed, yeah, because I needed the Romulus. Basically, was the only card that would put me in a situation like this where I don't even need the cleanup good. So okay, so anyway, cool. All right, so that's a good end to this game. So yeah, against caffeine. So we still have most of the tools that are good against caffeine in the deck. We still have cleanup good, and we have the WhataTwists. So we didn't even get a single WhataTwist. If we would gotten a WhataTwist, this also would have been easy. So I think the caffeine matchup is still good. I will call out that again, there were no popcorns in this game, which definitely can skew things. But anyway, okay. So overall, let's see. So we went 1 for 2, which is kind of how I feel about Green Aggro. I feel like it just doesn't quite have as much oomph as Snow Globe, but if you're going to that more kind of aggressive deck and not the flexibility of Bizbunk, but I really love this deck. But anyway, so thanks everyone for watching. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you next time.